Okay, take a look at this. It's a site we all know, right? A place we probably visit every single week. The supermarket aisle. It feels so familiar, almost kind of boring. Just a simple place to grab what you need. But I want you to look a little closer.
Because what if I told you that every single item on these shelves is locked in a fierce, invisible war for your attention? What if the height of that cereal box, the brand of soda right at your eye level, even where they hide the milk, what if it's all part of a massive, carefully planned strategy? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden logic of the supermarket shelf, a system that has totally changed the way every single one of us shops.
To really get how we got here, you gotta go back in time, back to a period of complete and utter retail chaos. A time when the only rule was simple and kind of brutal. If a customer can't see your product, it doesn't get sold, period.
So, in the 70s and 80s, the grocery world was just a mess. Seriously, retailers organized their stores brand by brand, which was just wildly inefficient. Picture it. Each brand was fighting its own little war with no coordinated plan for the whole aisle. Then you had new competition from discounters and these so-called category killers. You know, those giant stores that only sell one thing, like toys or office supplies. Profits were getting crushed, and desperate price wars just made everything worse. Retailers and their suppliers were pretty much at each other's throats. And through all of that chaos, this one fundamental truth haunted every single store manager. You could have the greatest product in the world, but if the customer just walks right past it without a second glance, it might as well not even exist. So the big takeaway here? The old system was pure chaos, all driven by this one simple fear. If you can't be seen, you can't be sold.
Okay, so the whole system was just broken, it was inefficient, it wasn't profitable, and honestly, it was frustrating for everybody. Something had to give. And it did, in the form of a totally new way of thinking.
Now this is where the real shift happened. Instead of retailers and suppliers battling over their tiny little piece of the pie, pioneers like Walmart came along with a radical idea. What if we actually worked together? What if, instead of just focusing on one brand of soda, we tried to make the entire soda aisle a better experience for the customer? The goal changed from winning a small-time skirmish over one brand to winning the whole war at the category level. And this new philosophy got a formal name: category management. It's really built on three big ideas. First, you have to deeply understand the consumer. Second, you manage products in logical groups or categories. And third, you focus on growing that entire category. So, for example, the pasta aisle stopped being just a random collection of different brands and became a single business unit called pasta. It's a huge mental shift.
So that's the big idea, the grand strategy. But how do you take that philosophy and actually apply it to thousands of products on a real physical shelf? Well, you're going to need a blueprint. And that brings us to the planogram. You can think of this as the architectural drawing of the supermarket shelf. It is a super detailed visual map that tells you exactly where every single item goes, which shelf, which spot, and how many it gets to show. It basically transforms the shelf from a messy storage space into a highly engineered selling machine. And these blueprints aren't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. A giant supermarket, for example, might design its planogram to push its best-selling items to make the most money overall. But a little corner store, they might prioritize products with the highest profit margin, even if they don't sell as many. The goal totally dictates the design. And the impact of that design? It's absolutely staggering. Just moving a product to that perfect eye-level sweet spot can boost its sales by up to 45%. 45%! It's not about trying to convince you to buy something new. It's just about making it completely effortless for you to see what they want you to see. And this logic, it doesn't just stop at a single shelf. It extends to the entire store. I mean, have you ever wondered why the essentials like milk and eggs are almost always at the very, very back of the store? It's completely intentional. It forces you to walk a longer path, guiding you right past thousands of other products and maximizing your exposure to all those impulse buys. The crucial point here is that nothing is random. It's all a carefully designed map to guide your wallet. So now you have this incredible level of control and influence, which of course created a whole new kind of battlefield, a super strategic fight for every single inch of shelf space, and ultimately for a spot in your shopping basket.
Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting. Retailers realized they couldn't possibly be experts on every single category in the store, so they started appointing category captains. A retailer might ask a huge company, let's say a leading soda brand, to act as an advisor for the entire soft drink aisle. Their job is to use all their deep market data to help the retailer grow the category as a whole, giving them supposedly unbiased advice.
But wait a minute, you can probably see the problem here. This creates a massive potential conflict of interest. The retailer is taking advice from a big national brand, but at the same time, the retailer is competing against that very same brand with its own store brand products, what we call private labels. So all of a sudden, the category captain and the retailer are partners and rivals at the exact same time, fighting over the same precious shelf space.
And as you can see from this fight is happening all over the world. In places like the UK, store brands are absolutely dominant, making up more than half of all sales. But then you look at a massive market like China, and they're still just a tiny fraction. The battle lines are drawn completely differently depending on where you are.
So, how do the big national brands fight back? Well, they've got a whole playbook. They innovate like crazy, creating new products the store brands can't copy fast enough. They use massive advertising budgets to create what they call market pull. That's when your brand loyalty is so strong, you'll hunt for their product no matter what. And sometimes they even launch their own cheaper value brands to, fight fire with fire. The bottom line is, the shelf has become this incredibly sophisticated war zone between giant brands and the stores themselves.
This whole battle has become so complex, so data-driven, that the old tools just don't cut it anymore. The fight for the shelf has officially gone digital, and that's leading to algorithms in the aisles. You see, figuring out the perfect layout for a modern supermarket, deciding where to put 20 different categories with 48 subcategories to maximize every dollar, it's not a simple puzzle. It's actually a version of the quadratic assignment problem, which is one of the hardest computational problems in all of computer science. Seriously, solving it for even a small store is a mind-boggling task that requires some serious computing power. So, where is all this headed? Well, first up, AI is going to take over, generating perfect data-driven planograms automatically. Second, these same exact principles are being applied to the digital shelf, the layout of e-commerce websites. And finally, it's all merging into what's called an omni-channel strategy, where your experience in the physical store and the online store feel totally seamless and connected. The future is basically about removing all the guesswork, with AI creating a perfect shopping world both on your screen and in the store. And all of this brings us to one last question. The next time you walk down that familiar aisle, pushing your cart, just ask yourself this. Are you really in control of your choices? Or has the store, with its data, its planograms, and its algorithms, already done the shopping for you?